Please welcome our first guest for NAIDOC Week here on Really Good Radio. It is Steve Parker, and he joins us in between dropping his son off at trade school and going to work himself. Good morning, Braz. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. Doing Decker.
Where are you, mate? You're out in the trees. It's beautiful. What country are you on?
On Winwoodung country, just in Frankston there, dropping my son off at trade school. On my way to work at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Cranbourne.
Braz, I really appreciate you joining us in between, a hectic morning, and also NAIDOC Week. Everyone gets pulled in different directions and stuff. So, what does NAIDOC Week mean to you? What do you do or feel, if anything, different? But what does NAIDOC mean to you each year?
NAIDOC. Happy NAIDOC Week to everyone.
Cheers,
to all the mob out there, and what it means to me, I celebrate NAIDOC every day of the year in my life, but I suppose it's just highlighting all the achievements and different things that our mob do in the community and through their life. So that's what I celebrate and love seeing all the things our mob do, and and just sharing our knowledge and stories and culture.
What's your story like, Braz? I don't want you to be uncomfortable or dig into some deep past if you don't want to, but can you give us a little snapshot of what your life as a First Nations kid was? Where did you grow up, and who was your mom?
Well, I'll start off. I'm a Winwoodung Yorta Arab descendant. My family goes back through to the Briggs Cooper line, and then that's my grandmother's side, and then my grandfather's side is the Arab Torres Strait Island side that goes back to Darnley Island, at the top end there. But yeah, a bit about me. I grew up. I was adopted as a young baby. Back in the 70s for my mum as a young Indigenous lady. Very young to have me was quite hard for them. So, but at the age of 10, I've traced back my family and have been connected to my family ever since I was 10, and so it's been like 30 something years.
That's beautiful. I don't think I've heard personally too many 10-year-olds tracing back the history. It's usually a bit later in life, like, when you get a bit of independence, but it's quite amazing that you got. I think that's good that you got in when you're still developing. I had some great parents that taught me to be strong, who I was. They always told me who I was, so I was very strong in my identity and knew that I wasn't. I needed to find my family and connections. So my journey's been quite a long one, and I suppose working in different areas and working with our community through surfing and so on over the last 15 or 20 years has helped me connect back to a lot of family and those connections. So it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. I did that after finishing my builder's apprenticeship and was working in the trades and in that field, and then just sort of thought follow my passion. And my parents that raised me taught me to always make sure you got something under your belt where you study or get a trade behind you, and then follow your dreams just so you got something to fall back on. So to this day now, I'm doing stuff that I love and incorporating my skills of carpentry and joinery and that through that, but sharing culture, teaching culture, and and telling stories, our stories through art and those different types of things. So what's your take on when people talk about stolen generation and
when they when the commentary is around, oh, they deserve to be stolen, and they call it adoption. There can be a lot of trauma in that situation. What's your view on that? I know you're not speaking for all situations right across the lands, but you just said you were adopted. Was that a good thing, or was that a good thing for you? And at the time, at the situation, or should there have been more support services to keep you with your mum and your family?
Yeah, I think back then there should have been probably more support services. That's a hard question. You could think you'd love to change things back then, but also too, I look at things are meant to happen for a reason, as well, and the cards everybody gets dealt with. I suppose you just got to deal with those things along the way, and a bit of trauma does. I've sort of faced some of that trauma through my journeys and of abandonment and all that sort of stuff. So they're things that a lot of the people that are adopted or have been stolen would go through. Just feeling that disconnection, and I suppose also growing up without those family ties and the feelings and connection that they do get, and understanding that and what those connections are to the country that they might be taken away from or sitting on.
Surfing's such a powerful medium and a healer for a lot of people. I don't surf myself. Did you find that surfing wasn't enough, as powerful it is, and culture was still the thing that needs to be the strongest?
I suppose with the programs I ran with Surfing Victoria, where we just kind of use that as a vehicle to bring our mob together and give them the skills to move forward in life. So I would go into a community and introduce surfing, and we've got a lot of mob that live on the coast, and just in making it a lot more safer for families and that to go down the beach. And through those programs, it would give them water safety and teach or mentor young kids into coaching positions and stuff. So it gives them the right tools to go out in life and get their own job. So I was given that first platform. So and building their mentoring leadership within their communities as well, so they can give back to their own community. So that's the way I sort of structured things, using those sort of old cultural values and protocols to pass down that knowledge and help their own community as well. So and looking back on it, a lot of our young coaches that we did help through those times. They were able to have their own tools to go out and get their own employment and jobs. And I look back and a lot of those young people are older now and seeing what they're doing in life, and the achievements that they do have done. So it's pretty deadly.
It's all about planting seeds, isn't it? Like really and nurturing it and not letting them go. And I think sometimes we can plant a seed and then be too tired to really follow it up or water it, as if you use the same kind of word.
Yeah, I suppose it's just to help our mob grow in different ways, and some of us need some guidance through some of those journeys and support. So just build it, whether it's a yarn or just giving them positive feedback on what they're doing, or it all helps.
How long have you been surfing, Braz?
Since I was maybe 10 or 11 or something. I can't remember.
Wow. I bumped into you only just recently at the Indigenous surfing titles. It was one of the heats. It was absolutely beautiful to see you out there. But I can see that the importance of seeing First Nation surfers, just representatives in common channels is really important. I noticed my little Lockie was just like adored you, and like that's a seed, isn't it? That's a seed. Just seeing seeing that we can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And like some of the challenges we had through that was just getting some of our mobs around the shame of getting into a wetsuit and stuff like that. Those little tools there is building individual positivity and self-like, I suppose, and just believing in yourself. And through those actions of surfing, they were able to build that confidence. And because it felt quite challenging, and life's very challenging as well. So,
if you think about it, do you think that shame, when we talk about shame, and it's a common word in blackfella language, you know, I don't be shame, you know, you know, white fellas might say, oh, don't be nervous, but the shame's so much heavier than the word nervous. It's rife.
Yeah, it is.
It's rife, and it's a real. You talk about blocks, and it's a real problem in our culture. That where do you think that comes from?
I think it goes right back, I suppose, from colonisation. When you think about it, our mob being oppressed and not being able to, I suppose that's another big, deep conversation we could talk about. But
it's important to hear it, I think. And I talked about it just today, but yeah, I mean, you can't avoid the big C word, which is colonisation, and talking about it only being 230 years ago. You know, it's only a couple of grandparents away, and it's being swept under the carpet too often, and the importance of talking about it. So I'm glad you mentioned it. Tell me a little bit about this new journey that you've taken on. I just seen it come out in the last week. This is a beautiful new thing that's been birthed between you and Carissa, your lovely lady.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So both of us, we do work in that space, and why not bring it together and putting it out there and just I've sort of had it set up for quite a while, but it was all before COVID sort of hit. I was ready to activate and sort of get it out a bit more, and but the time was right now, and with both of us sort of on board, we're able to create some good opportunities, I suppose, for some of our mob and for us to share our knowledge and culture.
Tell us a little. Tell us. This is it here, folks. If you want to have a look at what Steve's talking about, tell us a little bit about Milal dreaming. What does Milal mean?
Milal is Phillip Island in Gunbudang language. So, I thought, why not sort of have a traditional name, and especially where I live on Milal or Phillip Island. I thought it was a good fit, and because I've been living there for so long, it's a kind of dreamy place, I suppose. It was one of my dreams to live there and live on the ocean and live that lifestyle, I suppose. So, and you can see there on the picture, which is Milal, the island, and on the other logo that we have is sort of representing our clans, surfing, ceremony, ocean.
Beautiful. So what's the program? It's going to be helpful. Is this for non-Indigenous people as well? It's for everyone to be able to get involved and learn a little bit more about culture?
Yeah, so over the years, I've been doing mentoring with our local Indigenous kids in the area, doing different tours and so on Malau and that local area as well, down Basque Coast or Tullagum country, and just sharing, because it's a spot where a lot of people have been asking. There's a lot of travel people and tourism that I've noticed over many years, and saying that there's not much information down that way on our culture and different things. So sharing it with the wider community and just over the years, as people know who I am, and I'm a custodian, a Bunbadang descendant. So there's a lot of people that have had different things over the years, like artifacts and stuff from families that are non-Indigenous families that have passed them back, and which I use in educational programs to show the local kids in that area that there is, our people were there and we are still here as well.
You're also not a too shabby artist as well. I'm starting. The more black fellas I meet, it's just amazing some of the diversity and multi-skilled peoples that are amongst that community. Tell us a little bit about your artwork and who sent you their knowledge in terms of painting and.
Just through painting, I suppose. I was always, as a kid, loved drawing and different things. As you got a bit older, I was getting into the graffiti side of things and all legal side of things, but just sort of incorporating that sort of modern twists with a bit of modern contemporary twists with some traditional type designs in there as well. So
tell us a little bit about this brass little number that probably half the world's going to see if they can get down your way, and it's a beautiful piece. This
one's taken a bit of time to get installed. This was actually finished at the start of the first lockdown.
Oh wow!
So it's been sitting there in out the back of the nature park for a little bit. But yeah, I just keep persisting. And this one was done just incorporating. You can see it's made out of core 10 steel, so it's a rustic type steel. And the patterns in there are incorporating the pinnacles, which you can, in the background, you can actually see the pinnacles and also the sun and pyramid rock as well. So it's looking over that bay there, where I live and where I spend a lot of time.
Wow.
And the pinnacles there on that side of the bottom end of the surfboard, to the left of the screen, you can also see the pinnacles in the background. That's quite significant to our Bunbadang people as well.
It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful, and it's really nice to know that that's going to be up there for as long as someone doesn't knock it off.
Yeah. Hopefully it's bolted in pretty good. And there's that one as you get down the beach, but as you do come into Cape Woolamai, there's another big sign, big core 10 sign with that kind of same pattern, but incorporating a lot of the local native animals as well. So the tail, the whale, which we have the whales migrating through each year, and they seem to be getting more and more each year. And also too, we did have one of them beached themselves on one of our local beaches not too long ago, which a lot of people might have come down and seen. It was quite a big one, which we did ceremony and to send its spirit back where it needs to be. And I called on a few of the countrymen in Victoria to come down and help us with that ceremony, which was pretty deadly. Just having those yarns about what the traditional ways of what we did do with whales back in the day. So it was quite good.
I know you're probably going to get going, mate. You're probably are you sitting outside of work right now?
No, I still I'm sitting at Frankston at the moment.
Oh, you're a good man. It's been actually quite beautiful to see the trees behind you and hear that crow and little baby crow.
Yeah. I noticed while I was sitting there and and I thought, well, why not sit in front of the beetle trees and as our as it is healing country. So I suppose something I'd love to share with everybody is we all connect to our country in some way, and whether you're First Nations or not, always go out and sit on country and listen to the silence and connect and feel it around you, because we are a part of that country, and we need to heal it for our future generations. So for our kids and their kids, let's try and protect it and heal it and look after it. So
it's a good reminder, and it's a great segue into acknowledging that this week and the theme is Heal Country. Each week for National NAIDOC, right across the country, there's a theme picked out. There always was, always will be, and there was a what was it? It was Her Something, because of Her Weekend a few years back. But this year is Heal Country, so it is certainly a very good reminder to get out and think about where we're walking, and it's a great reminder, man. Like,
yeah, it's always good. Always tell people to do that little bit of research and find out what country you are on. It was quite good listening to Triple J on the way in this morning about how the Australia Post is putting the traditional names on a lot of things. So there's slow steps happening to share our language, and the right names for the places that we do live on. So
if it only took 230 years to come up with the names that we've got now, it shouldn't take that long. But
also too, I also mentioned to people a lot of towns that they do live in. Just Google it, and it will tell you. And a lot of the towns that you do live in are actually Aboriginal names.
Oh yeah, Geelong's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's all you need to do is do that little bit of research, and you'll find out that most places are named in language, and the suburbs that you do live in. So you think about all those places where first settlers come into our country. There was actually our mob were the trackers that they used to get around the whole country. So just remember that.
Yeah. Hey Steve, it's been thank you for jumping on first of all at this part of the day. I know it's not always easy when people have got lives and you got work and kids to drop off and stuff. I really appreciate you kicking off NAIDOC week on our radio show.
Yeah,
man.
No worries. Can I just do a shout out?
Of course you can, my man.
Yeah, shout out to Carissa on their travel and Selena. Also to, I think Wednesday, as I work at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Cranbourne, we do have a Bush Tucker tour, virtual tour online. So please visit Royal Botanical Gardens website for that. I think it is around 1 o'clock.
Okay, Royal Botanical Gardens in Cranbourne.
Check on their website, and I think it's running through the Casey Library as well.
Unreal, bros. And that's a virtual thing. Oh, great. So we can do it. No excuse.
Yeah, so you can get online. There's myself and another brother boy, Sam May, that will be doing the Bush Tucker tour, and just sharing what we've got in the gardens. And
wow.
Sam's also a qualified chef that used to work in Charcoal Lane, I think it is.
We've talked about him on here before. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so he'll be sharing some Bush Tucker and different ways of cooking different things. So they should be pretty deadly.
Unreal, bros. That's cool. So cool. I just put up the link now to Cranbourne Gardens, and that's on Wednesday around 1 p.m. But check out all the details there. Stevie Parker, mate, you're a champion, and happy NAIDOC, man. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Stay deadly. Troy.
I appreciate you.
See you later.